So I haven't made a video in quite a while. I was busy and I really didn't have any passion for any video ideas. I felt kinda exhausted and I haven't been getting good sleep plus high school every day made me tired with just no motivation. But during this time I was thinking about videos. I had multiple ideas and even began a few of the scripts. But I was never able to complete them. The only reason I was able to complete
Excuse me,
this video was because I
sir?
have been incredibly hyped for the new Resident Evil remake. The recent gameplay made me jittery. I had so many thoughts I wanted to put out. The original RE4 is one of my favorite games, if not my favorite. Resident Evil as a series has been stuck in my
I
memory
was
for
wondering
as
if you would
long as
happen
I
to
can
want some room in
remember.
this
I have
photograph.
beaten RE4, RE7, and the RE2 remake. I have played RE1 remake, but the
Sorry to
tank
interrupt.
controls kinda made me angry and made me put the game down. For which one of these games is my favorite, I have a tie between RE2 Remake and RE4. I like both of them for different reasons, which I'll get to later. I do have a few issues about what I have seen, but I believe they are mainly nitpicks. Well, with that said, this is all my personal opinion, and I hope you enjoy it. On October 20th, 2022, or 3 days before the making of the script, the Resident Evil Showcase showed the RE8 DLC, RE Reverse, and the one I watched it for, the Resident Evil 4 remake. It begins in the woods, with Leon walking to a shack from the beginning of RE4. Leon says, how far could he have gone? I am 99% certain that he was looking for one of the cops that drove him here. Leon walks through the house, and the entire layout is remade and made more complex. Leon goes through the house, and he finds the police officer who has been slaughtered. His radio goes off, hearing someone in distress. I'm guessing it will be the other police officer who is asking for help to get away from the Ganados. The radio loses connection. Leon starts making his way out of the house, but is stopped at the stairs by a Ganado. The Ganado's head is barely connected to its body. I think its head is being held up by a parasite, which, if that's correct, we will probably be seeing the parasite-ridden Ganados earlier than which we did in the original, which will, in fact, make everything more stressful and terrifying. It cuts to Leon crouching and sneaking around a Ganado, which confirms that Resident Evil 4 Remake will have some stealth elements which will allow us to make more choices for each approach. Leon runs upstairs and locks the door, and then he calls Hunnigan, which she is returning and she looks better than ever. Leon gets interrupted by more Ganados and he jumps through the window. This might seem minuscule, which it kinda is, but it shows that it'll be more focused on horror, but it will still keep many of the action elements of the original.
My escorts are. Gotta go. Talk later.
Leon makes his way to the village, which is one for one a recreation of the original. All of the buildings are in the exact place as they were in the original. Leon pulls out binoculars and sees that the other police officers being burned on a stake in the middle of the village, kind of like the original. Leon runs into the village and a woman grabs him. We can see that the break free feature is back, but there is a second option to use your knife to have a quicker escape, but you sacrifice the durability of your knife. This has a level of choice and adds more survival horror vibes. Leon breaks free, then shoots her in the face, which stuns her. He runs up and kicks her, which was a major reveal. Many, including myself, were scared that this major feature from the original would be cut. Thankfully, it seems to be about the same mechanically as the original. Everything plays out like the original until Dr. Salvador comes in. His redesign looks insane. He can now interact with the environment and destroy different sections of the map. Dr. Salvador seems like he could be downplayed sadly, because you can use your knife to parry his chainsaw attack. but it does shatter your knife when you do. Interestingly, the weapon equip screen is the same from the last 4 entries, which is kinda sad because going into your suitcase to get weapons is a staple from the original, but I do think it is a good change. The sound effects for every gun sounds a bit weak, but they could just buff that before the game comes out. They added a new crafting system. You can now go into a separate menu to craft. You can now craft bullets, which is definitely a welcomed addition. That was one of my basic complaints about the original. It seems like scavenging and crafting will be fully expanded upon, with more emphasis put on the survival horror aspect. The merchant has returned being just as cool as the original. He still has a classic accent. The voice isn't as good as the original, but he still sounds great. You can now trade items with the merchant for special items. The upgrade system is still here with the addition of being able to upgrade your knife. Luis is back. His voice sounds a bit less young, I guess you could say, sounding older and more mature. His redesign is interesting. I like it, but I wish they made him look a little more like the OG. So that's most of the info that was revealed in the trailer. Now I want to talk about my thoughts and this game looks incredible. The gameplay, which was my favorite part of the original, seems to be almost exactly the same with obviously quality of life elements put in place. The atmosphere and style seems to be more like the RE2 remake, which is why I love that game. Which would make more sense since the this remake is being made by the same team as the RE2 remake. So if you were worried about the RE3 remake and having that happen again, well, I hope that kind of deters you from thinking that way because it's made by a completely different team. The graphics look almost better than any other game I've ever seen, only being followed by the Demon Souls remake, The Last of Us Part 2, and Part 1. Capcom and the developers have really gone all in to try to make this remake an improvement on RE4, which was already a masterpiece. Well, with all that said, I think all my thoughts are said, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Alright, see ya. One more thing, I was busy for the past week and I wasn't able to record the rest of the video. That's why this video is coming out over a week after I finished the script. Sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed it. I put a lot of effort into this video and I would appreciate if you liked the video. Alright, actually now, see ya.